The speaker, the general speaker, they are playing. Tomorrow, we can say all of you. You know what I feel? You know what I feel? But you don't know. But why is that doing? No. So I want to
Thought on the issue of the threshold bill that was passed recently, and then a motion of reconsideration was taken by one of our colleagues, which sparked heated debate around here. You know, on the 9th of December 2025, the House of Representatives passed on this bill and sent it to the Senate for concurrence. This bill was crafted following the submission of the 2022 census result, which puts Liberia's population at around 5.2 million plus. And this submission was done to satisfy the constitutional requirements that are enshrined in Articles 80D and 80E. In 80D, it says each constituency shall have an approximately equal population of 20,000 or such number of citizens as the legislature shall prescribe in keeping with population growth, a movement as reviewed by the National Census.
It's Magdalene Cooper. I'm the senior political advisor to His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia. But I also happen to be the spouse of the Speaker.
The example of our President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai. This is why we are here. Let me be on record. This is the national anchor of the Republic of Liberia that is the nucleus of Liberia. Go. Everything that Liberia needs to reflect on the historicity how Liberia was built, we have it here. But the central government has forgotten about it. And we will continue to require who will speak. Mercy. And the world will hear us.
Coming from the executive.
I say, I don't know why the president chose to think about football academy right after the exit of the footballing president. President Boakai had never, I don't think he even played in elementary school. To sit and decide that you're going to play a football academy, something that was being done by President Weah, who is celebrated around the world as who is celebrated in Africa. We think that is a serious challenge. That's a serious challenge. Everyone should watch that, because if this woman go ahead and build a football academy, and when he background in football after the exit of the football president, that clearly speaks to the fact that football was not a priority on George Weah.
A LOTE approved by the legislature. If you spend $10 million on a government project, which institution funded it? It also lends credence to some of the things people have said, that some of the money hitting the budget. For example, they're spending $1 million for Foya Hospital. What's the population of Foya? $1 million for Foya Hospital, but there are more people in Basso. There are more people in Magidi. So how do you allot money? There's a lot more money being spent for Kolahun Hospital. And there is also money being spent for Current Hospital in Zozo. So this year's budget spending almost $2 million on hospitals in Foya. Are they getting those money, in Lofa, are they getting those money to go back for it and spend on other projects?
Amrekun, distinguished colleagues, I want to say good morning to every one of you, and thank God that we in 2026, I mean, this is a very pleasant morning. All we can say, we want to tell God thank you for life. He has given us another breathing space. However, I am reminded of the conversation that was in the chat room yesterday where the speaker validated that Cecilia Bokun is his biological sister. That leads us to the fact that Richard Kun, at this point in time, you should recuse yourself, that you have committed crime under our marital law, the domestic law of this republic, that incest is a crime. So until we get reasons why you marry your sister, I think you have lost legitimacy to preside as speaker. So it is just the right thing for you to recuse yourself. And one thing, there are a lot of colleagues calling me and say, oh, you're from the Fanatic over Blood, they fire, you're not supposed to be commenting, you're not supposed to be talking. There is not a no damn blood thing that we're talking about. We are talking about the credibility, the image of the house that represents every one of us, the legislature as a body. Do you know what happened? That a woman is claiming that she got a marriage divorce certificate from the Civil Law Court. The reputation of our judiciary is placed on a question. And the executive is also placed on a question. The legislature is placed on a question. And the lives and the status of our Liberian brothers and sisters in the United States of America now being in danger. I mean, this is a grave allegation. I'm hoping that our dear speaker can do the right thing. I'm not talking about removal of Richard Kun. I'm only saying he should recuse himself because they are also saying the woman fake document and blah, 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 blah. In the state of Delaware, you did it marriage, and then now we have credible information. The documents will be available today that, pictorial evidences will be out that you did marry and you exhibited acts of husband and wife. And if those papers are provided today from now to 12 o'clock, I think Richard Kun will not be speaker anymore.
Well, what is the big news?
The big news in the court. Are you planning to remove the speaker?
But this is not a speaker house. This place is not a speaker office. It's not a personal property. It's not anybody's personal property. Anybody who falls below the belt in terms of legislative proceedings or requirement, obviously it behooves the members to ask you to step aside.
Do you want the speaker
I'm saying to you now, if you perform below the belt, it behooves the members to say step aside.
Is the speaker performing below the belt?
No, he's performing.
Okay, so
he's
you don't want
performing.
him out.
No, I don't want. It's not. I don't want him out. I'm saying he's performing until it is proven beyond all reasonable doubt that that speaker have done this, has done this, that required for us to remove it. Obviously, when we remove it.
So here is my promise to you, not as a politician, but as a Liberian who loves this country with everything I have. CMC will end corruption, not reduce it, not manage it, end it. CMC will create jobs, real jobs, jobs that let you provide for your family with dignity. CMC will build roads that connect our farmers to markets, roads that connect our children to school. CMC will put medicine in hospitals, so no mother ever has to watch her child suffer because some politicians stole the health budget. CMC will unite this nation. No tribe left behind. Competence over connection. One Liberia for all Liberians. But I cannot do this alone. CMC cannot do this alone. This movement, this revolution, it belongs to you. You, the student who dreams of a better future. You, the mother who prays for her children every night. You, the father who sweat feeds this nation. You, the professional who is embarrassed by what Liberia has become. You, in the diaspora, who left because Liberia failed you, but whose heart never left home. This is your movement. This is your movement. This is your Liberia. So, I'm asking you, no, I'm calling you to join us. Join CMC. Not because we have all the answers, but because together we are the answer. Sign up, volunteer, donate what you can, share this message to your neighbors. Be the change you have been waiting for. 2026, the year of change. The year we stop waiting. The year we start to build. The year we take back what is ours. Liberia first, citizens empowered for the people, by the people. Happy New Year, my people. The awakening has begun. God bless you, and God bless the people and the republic.
These kind of words we live in today. I got a letter from Obama from his foundation. He sent him a note. And then he sent this note and then in the note they said President Obama. And so then somebody is telling me, why you always call George President? I said, I don't even like to talk to people like you. He said, why? I said, because we're not writing to people like you. I said, I got 3 different degrees. I've been meeting people globally. And in the mind, they know I'm on their level. That's why they're talking to me. If you went there, you got to wait in the car. I'm talking to you on my page. Just find something else to do. I'm talking to President George. Didn't you watch the inauguration? Before they inaugurated this man called Donald Trump. Before they inaugurated him, they announced all the presidents called him president. I don't know where they were. People were asking me, did not watch that. Here comes President Bill Clinton. Here comes President George Bush. Here comes President Obama. They were naming those people elect systematically until they all took their seat before they announced the president-elect. And people are here in this little small country, 5 million people, most of whom haven't even written any paper on their own wall, when they post pictures, and they are telling you, don't call George president. You have a problem. And if you are pathetic, I'm not a doctor. You got to do psychology.
I was formally exonerated of the rape allegation made against me. The investigator found no evidence to substantiate the claim, and the findings clearly established that the allegations could not be supported by facts, forensics, or circumstances. This outcome came through due process, forensic review, and professional investigation. Let me again state clearly and unequivocally that since returning to Liberia from the United States on August 8, 2025, I did not meet, see, or interact with the alleged victim at any time, in any place, or under any circumstances. That fact was central to the police investigation and was confirmed during the process that led to my exoneration. For clarity and public understanding, it is important to address the specific claim relating to Saturday, August 30, 2025. On August 30 was a Saturday and a non-working day. I did not go to SKD Sports Complex to work on that day. I do not have personal access to my office key. Access to my office requires the presence of 2 assigned staff members, neither of whom was available or present on the said day. Therefore, it is impossible for anyone to bring food or for any interaction to occur in an office space I was not present in and would not be accessible. On that same day, Saturday, August 30th, I spent the entire day at Alpha Field until late in the evening in the presence of prominent and well-known individuals, including Choko Nathaniel Roberts, Kevin Kier Sigwe, Alvin Brown, Kolukusha Tupa, Anthony Cole Dwago, amongst others. We later departed separately. I returned directly to my residence and did not leave my house again that day until the next day, which was a Sunday. These facts are verifiable. You be the judge. Despite the official findings of the Liberian National Police, I cooperated fully with the authorities from day one, and I will continue to respect the rule of law. I will not litigate this matter in the media, but I will also not accept injustice or silence in the face of verified truth. We empathize with the victim and the family, and we pray sincerely that the perpetrator of this crime will be found and prosecuted, not to only follow vindicate me, but my reputation that justice will be served.
Things like today, I mean, everyone, what are you from? LW, MP, whatever. It's politics is not what define us. You understand? If you look at how many persons that in the unity
in the place. Good evening to Liberia, and hello, good evening to everyone. If you can yell us, please leave a comment. If you can yell us, then we have to. Okay. We have to make some adjustment. I think it's okay. Good evening to all of you. Tonight, basically, we're going to talk more about issues concerning our country, like the real. We're going to dive in deep toward issues that are making headlines. So I'd like to welcome all of you to this program. I hope that you can have a great time to be on here tonight. My name is William McGill, and we hope to have a friend and brother, James Aku. James Aku will join us. We'll talk more about our country, Liberia. We'll talk more about the issues that matter the most to our beloved country. And we will also participate with comments. You can also participate with comments and your calls on WhatsApp 086 563 652 086. That's 0770 0778 1381 and numbers to join us. So we basically going to talk about the yellow machine brought into the country, or that will be arriving in the country anytime soon. We listened to Information Minister Jerry Lemek Pia. He spoke about these yellow machines arriving in the country very soon. But questions are, is this the first time the government of Liberia has spoken about the arrival of these yellow machines? One. Two, how would this help our people Liberia, or our people in Liberia in curbing essential needs that we need these kind of services for? Of recent, we saw the Liberia Transit Authority, NTA, releasing a statement about the buses that brought into the country. Of recent, we saw NTA brought over 35, 36, and later on they brought some more mini buses in our country. And it's something that we all should be able to speak about now that the government of Liberia has brought into the country 35 yellow machines. And Information Minister Jerry Lemek Pia spoke about these machines arrival. The last time we talked about this was when we couldn't have a perfect conversation when the government procured for these buses to arrive in the country. We didn't have a lot to talk about. It's essential of what we are putting in for the buses to arrive in the country. And the thing is that the yellow machines coming into Liberia are meant to be able to carry on road projects, creating easy access from farm to market roads, creating easy assets for places that are hard to reach. So the government of Liberia now is bringing in 35 yellow machines, to end the previous procurement deal earlier on during the broadcast administration. We saw the government procuring these same yellow machines. We even witnessed a parade of some of these machines coming into the country. And later on, there was a lot of backlash. A lot of complaints and a lot of disagreement about how these machines enter the country without the, how should I put this, without the knowledge and without breathing the concession agreement, how the national legislature getting to understand how these yellow machines were brought into our country. What's the impact that these yellow machines will have in our country and the population? How these yellow machines will be able to develop our country like. So now that the government redraw and understand these situations, they were able to speak with his partner to now bring in 35 of these yellow machines. And one major thing that our people spoke about when they voted Joseph Boakai as president of Liberia was the fact that President Boakai was basically going to be able to manage and be able to produce more food for our country, Liberia. So because of that, we've been able to manage and get our hands in and look at these situations and not just the situation surrounding everything, but again, good evening, Mohammed Katawe. So is to look at how essential the machine is going to be for our people, for our farmers, for people who understand that getting these yellow machines are essential for the growth and development of our country, Liberia. These are issues we want to talk about. And these are things we want to open up broad knowledge of our people to be able to understand. So these machines are in the country to be spearheaded by the National Road Fund, by the Ministry of Public Works. I think these are two institutions of government that should solely be responsible for these kind of equipments, because these equipments are essential for the regular functioning of these sectors of government. Of course, yes. Of course, yes. We're not just saying that because we want to say it. Of course. So all we can say is that progress has been made, and we hope and pray that the government of Liberia, through whatever agency they can be able to make sure that the Ministry of Public Works, the National Road Fund, and other sectors of government that are responsible to be able to find remedy to the situation can come out with solutions. Solutions is key and essential, and we basically need to come up with it. James is unable to be on here, so we will talk more of what we want to talk about and God we think we can talk about that are essential for our people in Liberia. So we're just briefing you with current Minister Sarah Beslow Yante, and was in, an investment business conference, and she talked about President Joseph Boakai, trying to take Liberia to a higher, and calling to the president he says that economic diplomacy is strong, or is the strongest. The current investor is a partner can speak for the people, for the people of Liberia. So we saw not former, but finance minister, foreign minister, foreign minister Sarah Best Loyalty, then in a meeting, and she's basically having conversations that are essential for the growth and development of our country, Liberia. Now, we'll talk more about a few things and get to our editorial and end up from there. So the thing is, our people Liberians need to understand that this country belongs to us. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because things that you find common here are just a normal thing that anyone can do in another country. And it's a country or countries that have laws and orders, rules, regulations, very high standards as compared to our country like that. We are saying this to say that we as Liberians need to have a broad future and a broad picture of what we want to accomplish. I'm telling you, we've got an information that the National Tourism Authority have acquired 300,000 to welcome our show speed to Liberia. We just want to lay some basis about these kind of situations and get done with it. So the Asha Speed is coming to Liberia. He's been in Rwanda, Morocco of recent, before going to Nigeria, Tunisia, and Niger, Nigeria, Kenya, and other countries across Africa. And now the government of Liberia, through the tourism sector and the Ministry of Youth and Sports, wants this situation to be commercialized. It's not a bad thing. Why HSP stands to benefit? One, what do the fans stand to benefit if they have to buy or purchase this kind of ticket? We are asking. I should be coming to Liberia when I watched that live stream on Twitch. Was a recommendation from Alfonso Davis, whose parents are both from Liberia and Ghana. When Showspeed was on his live, Alfonso Davis did mention Liberia when he talked about visiting Africa. He said we have a nice culture, the foods and everything are nice. The thing is, it's not just about doing what you want. It's not just about making the big names. Some issues are very, very essential that we have to listen to and look into. Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Not the government is charging people, common Liberians, barely survive on $1 a day to go and pay huge sum of money to witness our show speed enter Liberia. My biggest fear about this visit is not us, you know, I shouldn't use this as hard. It's not messing up the process. For us to not gain that recognition we need. I think it's more of our people, of our government, of these actors in these various sectors to put more strategies to making sure these kind of people arriving in Liberia can have actually security systems. Of course, yes. I'm saying it to say that our government of Liberia needs to do better. They need to withdraw whatever fees they've had to actual speed arrival in our country. We should be cognizant of the fact that we can do anything to making sure we have our first priority is to make sure actually tour Liberia experience the very best we have in as Liberians and leave the rest with his viewers. Of course, yes. You cannot have a public figure who choose Liberia as one of the countries he will be visiting through his process and wants to use that as a means of generating revenue. I say for fact, and for one fact, that on our watch as workers and people of Liberia working hard to succeed and earn whatever we want to earn. These kind of situations will never exhibit. They will never exhibit. So all we can say is we hope for the very best for our leaders, and it's already the weekend. Saturday or Sunday, we hoping that Action Speed will be here and make our very, very best to be able to basically have everything coming on the studio. My name is William James. I'm able to be on the show tonight, and we'd like to be your pleasant good night from Venezuela.